In the last 48 hours, 2 stories broke, and together they raise a loud question. Is dissent still safe in America? The first story comes from the Pentagon. New restrictions now require journalists who cover the Department of Defense to agree not to publish certain information the Pentagon deems sensitive, including some categories that aren't even classified, unless it's been officially approved. Major outlets like Reuters, and the New York Times, and the Wall Street Journal all pushed back because this isn't just a policy update. It's a warning shot at press freedom. In 1971, the U.S. government tried to stop the publication of the Pentagon Papers. The Supreme Court said no, ruling that any attempt to pre-approve the press carries a heavy presumption of unconstitutionality. As one justice put it, the press was meant to serve the governed, not the governors. If a government agency can condition press access on silence, then journalism becomes public relations, and public scrutiny disappears. The second story comes from Texas, and I'll have to choose my words carefully because this account is facing a ban, which you can see on the pinned video on my profile. So, after what happened last week in Utah, several elected officials in Texas, including Governor Greg Abbott, called for universities to expel or discipline students who mocked or celebrated the event. At a public university, offensive political speech, even speech that is hurtful to some people, is still speech, and it is still protected. Unless it crosses a clear legal line, like a true threat or a targeted harassment, public schools can't punish students simply for having the wrong opinion. Courts have upheld this for decades. In Papish v. Board of Curators, the Supreme Court said a student couldn't be expelled for distributing material that was indecent but political. And in Brandenburg v. Ohio, the court made it clear speech isn't incitement unless it's intended and likely to produce imminent lawless action. Together, these 2 stories show a deeper trend. Power holders deciding which facts the public can access and which emotions the public is allowed to feel. That's not just censorship. It's a shift in how democracy functions. James Madison warned that a popular government without popular information is but a prologue to a farce or a tragedy. And Thomas Jefferson reminded us that error of opinion may be tolerated where reason is left free to combat it. The Constitution still protects us. The courts still draw lines against prior restraints on the press and against viewpoint-based punishment on public campuses. But protections only matter if we notice when they're being tested. So, what should we watch for now? Watch for vague language like controlled unclassified information or unprofessional conduct, and those things being used to silence dissent. Watch for access being granted only to those who stay quiet. Watch for officials pressuring schools to punish speech that offends them. And watch for the slow drift from discomfort into suppression. The real question isn't just whether dissent is still safe. It's whether we'll speak before the line moves again, or whether silence will start to feel like safety.